Hi folks, welcome to the Candidates Forum. This is for the city elections in Las Cruces coming up this, early voting starting the 8th. Is today the 8th? I'm not even sure, okay. And the voting day is November 5th. So this is the Candidates Forum. We're here with Philip VanVeen again, who's running for City Council District 2. Philip, welcome aboard again.
Good to be here.
We've been talking about a lot of subjects, and if people want to see the former shows that we had, how can they do that?
Oh, there's a couple ways. You can go to, jump over to my Facebook page. It's at VanVeen Las Cruces, and it's kind of my political page that I've had for a while. But at VanVeen Las Cruces, I've got all the shows loaded on there as they go through. If you don't use Facebook, you can go to YouTube, and you can look up the Las Cruces channel, and you can find all of them on there. You can also find all the people running for mayor and everything else who are willing to do these interviews.
Okay.
There's some candidates I know aren't doing it, so it's...
Well, we're winding down to the election time, and yeah, I know. Yeah. So how's the campaign going on the street? Have you been out?
It's going good. I think I just about wore out one pair of shoes.
Ah, so you're out knocking on doors.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And what's the feedback you get from people? What are their concerns?
Most of the people I talk to have a lot of the same concerns that I have as a citizen, and that's that they're just not happy with some of the direction right now. They feel like city council forgot who they are.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time. It's like, well, I've been to a city council meeting and I talked in front of them, or I've tried to reach out to a councilor and I've tried to do this or I've tried to do that, and I'm ignored. And that's how the citizens are feeling, is kind of left out. And here's what happens with that. It's anytime, and I hate to harp on this, but I harp on it a lot. Anytime you have special interest running anything, and I don't care what side it's on, anytime that happens, the majority of the people are going to feel left out and abandoned by their city councilors, because they've got an agenda, and those agendas are being pushed, and we don't have that same the feeling that we should have, and that's that a city councilor needs to remember their purpose there is to serve those people in their district. And with any special interest, you're serving one part. You're not serving the whole community.
Special interest. I mean, it's a matter of trust, really. If you don't trust your city councilors, and I know when I go into city council meetings, and I've gone to quite a few of them, there will be a lot of people talking and saying what they feel, what their opinion is, and then city council turns around and does the complete opposite.
Complete opposite,
but,
yeah. I've seen that too.
And if they did it for a reason, why wouldn't they explain it to us so we could understand? But I don't get that.
It's special interest money. We've seen it on county commission recently, on commission meetings, where special interest money dictates the day, and they get this firm. This is what we're going to do. We had the meeting where a county commissioner would not recuse himself even though he had taken special interest money for his campaign.
Yes.
I won't name names, but that took place, and it was really obvious that the special interest group wanted that, and another county commissioner said, "Well, he can't recuse himself because then we'll lose the vote."
What?
It's like that's not how this works.
That's saying there'll be a complete split vote.
It was actually proof positive that it was special interest money.
It was Reynolds. It was Reynolds.
Well, I don't want to get into that.
But that's the truth. And why not recuse yourself?
Well, why not? Yeah. If
I did some research just on this subject, special interest.
Okay.
And, anybody can go onto the website and find this. You can find out all of the amount of money. I'm not going to mention names here, but any of the candidates, you can look it up and look up Philip.
Absolutely,
and you can find out how much money spent and where the money comes from. It's like, I saw one candidate here had thousands and thousands of dollars from outside Las Cruces.
And there's probably a number of them. I've looked at the same place. I haven't gone through everybody's. But I've seen that too. Money out of Albuquerque, money out of Washington State, money out of
the state. That's right.
Yeah, out of state money and out of town money that's influenced local elections in Las Cruces. And I'm sure there's some of that money that's legitimate. It might be a family member or something like that who's given to a campaign. But there's a lot of it, especially when you look at the big dollar numbers that are special interest. There's one of them actually that I looked at that's named as special interest. So.
I saw one that looked like a PAC.
It was, yeah.
And people, look, you can go onto this website, www.las-cruces.org, and go to the search bar, and it's Campaign Finance Report. And you can look up everybody that's running for office. And I would think that if you really want to be transparent, let people know where your money's coming from, and it's not from a PAC or a special interest that has an agenda, then put on there, it's my cousin or a close family friend or something like that. I mean, it could be a lie,
right,
but there's less chance, I think, at least you're trying to be transparent. Now, I certainly don't get that from our city council. So why would special interest money, other than an agenda, what agenda could they possibly have? I'm thinking businesses or money that's going to be transferred through contracts or something like that. I don't know.
There could be some businesses involved in that in special interest on certain campaigns. I have not seen that to this point. What I have seen more than anything else is special interest. And I hate to go here because it makes me kind of one-sided on things, but I'm going to go there anyway because I said I want to be transparent. The special interest money that I'm seeing is pushing a progressive agenda.
Right.
Okay. And that's what I'm seeing. And like I said, I hate to do that because there's.
Well, you're not saying.
I have views also that I feel that I can side with, people who are on the progressive side on certain issues. But when you end up with this PAC money or alliance money, pushing a candidate like that and pushing an agenda, you see exactly what we saw in County Commission, a refusal to do anything but what that PAC money, what that push is behind you. And we need to fix potholes. That's what we need to do as city councilors. We need to serve the people of Las Cruces. We need to be there to say, you know what, we got a problem with the street. Let's repave the street. Let's fix these potholes. Let's do whatever we need to do to take care of the citizens. That's the job. That's what you're hired to do, and you're hired by the people. You're not hired by special interests. They might have put money in your campaign, but it's the people of Las Cruces who end up hiring you with their vote.
You see, to me, if I wanted to donate to a campaign, and I have, and because I trust that person is going to do a good job, not because of what that person is going to do for me after the fact that they get elected. So, yeah, the financing is really scary, where it's coming from. And I like the fact that you said you don't like to take a stand on progressive.
Right.
But I'm not, there's Democrats, and then there's Democratic progressives, then there's Democratic progressive socialists that border on communism.
Right.
So to me, progressive is the far, far left side of it. I have a lot of friends that are Democrats.
I'll be honest with you. I don't like to take throw anybody under the bus like that. And I don't like to do it with progressives. I don't like to do it with the ultra-conservative.
Right.
Because both of those sides, politically, I don't agree with 100%. Both of those sides.
I don't either.
And at the same time, I think that they're necessary on city council. I think that we need a progressive on city council. We need a ultra-conservative on city council. We need some moderates on city council. We need all of those voices to be heard. Without those voices heard, you eliminate certain people being served in the public, and it's just the way it is. I mean, I'll throw the Tea Party under the bus. I'll pick on them for a minute because that's what I consider more the ultra-conservative. Okay. If you have a whole city council full of Tea Party members, anybody who is progressive, anybody who is moderate, all of these people are going to feel like they're not being served on city council because you have a whole room full of like-minded people that are pushing a specific agenda rather than as a whole. It becomes an issue.
You had mentioned the county commissioners when the one fellow wouldn't recuse himself.
Yes.
Isn't it up to the chairperson to say, you're recused?
Well, the chairperson is the one who said, I think it was the chairperson, that said, no, it's the councilor recuses themselves, but the chairperson is the one who sided with them and said, we'll lose the vote.
Well, what the heck
we'll
is
lose
that?
the vote if you're recused.
Well, he's not a chairperson. He's a hack. Then.
It's really unfortunate. That it's. I don't want to get too far into the county thing, but this is what we don't need in city council. We don't need this sort of situation happening to where we have that one-sided. No matter what happens, this is what we're going to do, regardless of what the people say.
Right.
And we've seen that repeatedly. We've seen it with, the vote on the county bus service and everything else. We've seen that problem. Regardless of what the people of Las Cruces say, the people of Doña Ana County say, we're going to do something different.
Sure.
We need to get rid of that mentality.
Well, look, folks, if you want to find out about special interest money, remember, go to www.las-cruces.org. Search bar, use campaign finance report. That's what you type in. You can find out everybody, the mayor, city council.
Everybody's on there,
And that's transparency and that's honest. And then you can call the people and say, hey, what about this? Where did this come from? Who's this person? Who's this group, this PAC? So, find out.
Where's the money coming from? Follow the money.
Follow the money. That's a good one.
Money.
Well, there's a big issue in our town with mental health.
Man.
Let's talk about mental health if you don't mind.
Sure.
So how do we fix our mental health issues?
With a mental health facility, and we have one.
Yeah, but I heard it's not too effective.
Well, it's not running.
It's not running at all?
It's not running at all. I'm not talking about the Mesilla Valley Hospital. I'm talking about the city-county mental health facility that was built, I think, in 2013, 2014, sometime in there. They built a facility, and then they've never staffed it. They haven't opened the doors on it. We own it. We have money specifically slated to go towards funding it, but it's never been completed. For whatever reason, our city and county governments are, whether it's city council, county commission, because it's a joint facility, has not pushed for it.
Wait a minute. We just spent $1 million and then $750,000 for the transients, the asylum seekers that are moving through and they just bang, $500,000, total $1 million now. They lay that from our Telshore fund, and that's a hospital that they're getting lease money from a hospital that's supposed to be for what?
Well,
Why
actually,
not mental health?
Actually, the Telshore fund is earmarked. Money from the Telshore fund is earmarked for funding the mental health facility.
What's going on?
So why we're not funding that mental health facility, why the county and the city, I don't have the answers for that. I'll try to find out. I haven't looked that up yet, but I'll try to find out more.
Well, you're not responsible because you're not city council yet.
Yeah, but still, I'm a concerned citizen, and I need to know. But I know that money has been slated, and I think it's $2 million slated from the Telshore fund that's supposed to fund that mental health facility.
And that's constant money.
And
that's
I'll tell
money.
you, a lot of people are like, well, we shouldn't be using our taxpayer money for stuff, but this is something that taxpayer money should go to, is this mental health facility. It helps the city in a lot of ways. It's not just helping those people with mental health issues, but we open that facility and we start getting people in there. That's 70-80% of our homeless population in Las Cruces.
Homeless, crime,
is mental health.
drugs.
Right, exactly. Crime and drugs are going to go down.
Absolutely.
Everything it's going to help everything if we can open that facility and get it going.
Well, that's a good question to ask.
Right, and I really think that it needs to be, and it's one of I haven't talked much about this because a lot of people, you start talking about it and you get polarized a little bit, one way or the other. But I think it's an issue that I'm willing to take up the burden of pushing this through and trying to bring it, keeping it in the light, keeping it, on the surface on city council, and really push this issue through because we need it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, look, we're going to take a short break, and I'd like to come back and talk more about this mental health issue and where the money can come from and all. So, folks, stay tuned. We'll be back in a short break, and we'll discuss mental health issues and how to solve the problem with Philip VanVeen, running for City Council District 2. Stay tuned.
So great, you do all these different years of the clan.
Okay.
Nice.
Guys, not all.
Horizon Granite is here. We'll come to you to customize your kitchen and bathroom with beautiful countertops and cabinets. Find out more at horizongranite.com. Call us at 575-650-3180.
Horizon Granite is here.
It's here.
Make yourself a beautiful home.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Hi folks, welcome back to the Candidates Forum. Forum. We're having our elections coming up this November 5th in Las Cruces for various seats. We're here again with Philip VanVeen. He's running for City Council District 2. We've been talking about campaign financing, but then we moved into mental health issues, and we're finding out a lot about we could handle the mental health issues because, Philip, there's a center that we have in the city.
We own it. It's a city-county project. We own it. It's the Triage Center.
Okay.
It's over off of 17th Street in that area over there.
Okay.
But,
okay.
But we've never opened the facility. They built it, and it's sitting there. So it's never been opened as a triage center.
That's a heck of a question for City Council. I wish I could go to the City Council meeting today. I can't.
I'll be there today, but
why don't you ask that question?
There is so much on the agenda today.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna bring it up. You know, this is a matter that's going to take more than one question.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a tough one to tackle. It's one that I'm willing to tackle after this election's over.
I'd like to get a close-up of the City Council members and the mayor when you ask that question, and they go, the deer in the headlights look.
Well, like I say, it's the funding is available for it. It's unfortunate because I think some of the funding is getting spent in places that it wasn't earmarked for.
Yeah, like the people the asylum seekers that are coming through the city, they just popped out $1 million like it was nothing.
Well, and that's the fund. The Telshore Fund is the fund that's supposed to be for that triage center, or at least part of it. Now, I don't know that $1 million has touched the money that's set aside for the triage center or not, but it's the same fund. And it makes sense that the Telshore Fund, which that money comes directly from the lease of Memorial Medical Center, which
hospital.
Is right. It makes fun that money should be used back in the community for things like mental health.
To keep people out of the hospital.
Right.
And out of the grave.
Right. And I've said it before, when it comes to the asylum seekers, I think that we did need to help them in some way.
Well,
Once they're here, there's something that we need to do. But the bottom line is we don't need to help people from outside to the neglect of the people, of our own people.
And obviously we have, unless we get a better explanation, which we haven't got an explanation.
Well, the only explanation I can give you with it is Tent City gets federal grant money, and the more people in there, the more money they get. And I don't know if that's I may be way off base here.
Makes
sense. But to me, it looks like Tent City's getting this federal money. You open a triage center, start pulling people out of Tent City. Now you're paying to treat people, okay? On one end, but then you're losing money to Tent City. So now, where does the money come from to run Tent City if you pull that money out?
Well,
and I think I'm afraid that's part of what's going on, but I don't have any fact on that. I can't prove that 100%.
Well, it makes sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
Sure. I mean, you want federal money, you want grant money, you want all the money you can get, and the federal government always pays up. Now, our federal government's in big trouble financially, $22 trillion. So it's not handling money well as far as I'm concerned. So
paying out money that we're borrowing from ourselves and from other countries and getting further and further in debt, but that's a national issue.
Well, I tell you, okay, and if you handle the mental health issue, you also handle crime, you handle drug use. It's untold. Property damage.
Right.
It can just go on and on and on.
For the city, opening that facility is going to cost some money, and it's taxpayer money. For the citizens, in the long run, we're going to save money because we're going to cut back on crime. We're going to cut back on the amount of people that we have to care for in Tent City, in other facilities like that. We're going to be able to turn some people's lives around and get them back to work again.
They'll be productive.
They'll be productive members of our society. The problem is people look at mental illness and they see people walking down the street and shouting at cars and shouting at other people and that sort of stuff. But it's not all that. There's a lot of other mental illness that's out there that is treatable. And it's not just one of those things that we're going to have to give people care for the rest of their lives. There's people that they're treatable, and then once they're on medication, once they're balanced out, they're willing to stay that way. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe where I was at. I want to do the right thing here. I don't want to be that person. I want to be a better person.
No, I hear you.
And that'll help us out a lot.
And medication isn't necessarily always the cure because you have counseling.
Right.
There's so many things that it could help.
Yep.
And I can't think of a better way to spend our money. Now, I was at City Council and I asked Miyagishima, the mayor, I said, you just spent that money. He said, well, that's not city money. I said, well, what do you mean it's not city money? It's Las Cruces money, is it not? He said, well, it's not taxable money or something like that. I said, is it Las Cruces money? He said, yeah, it's Las Cruces money. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
So-
it's Las Cruces and Doña Ana's money. It's both.
Well,
it's the county and city money
Yeah,
together.
and I can't think of a better way to spend it than for mental health.
I can't
and
either.
What
I can't
family
either.
isn't
Yeah.
affected by mental health? Whether
Right.
it's somebody within your family that has issues, it could be military coming back from service, PTSD. Could be
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah, it could be a lot of different things.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
But it's probably to me it's one of our biggest issues in the community.
Right.
Is fixing this mental health problem. And there's no magic bullet to make it all go away. But if we have a center, and we can start putting people in that center, I think we can go a long way to fixing the problem.
So, Philip, when you're up on that dais, I expect you're going to help take care of this problem.
There's a couple things you can count on when I'm up on that dais, and one is honesty. Honesty first. Everything is going to be an honest answer, and two, I'm not going to back down to something because there's some other special interest group or anybody else who wants me to back down from it. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to tackle the issues. I'm going to tackle the issues hard. I'm not going to worry about hurting people's feelings or stepping on people's toes when I do it, because we need to tackle these issues and we need to get these issues resolved, and we're going to do what it takes to get them resolved. And the city council meetings might get kind of entertaining to come to for a little while. Who knows?
That'd be nice. And I think you did say that you're going to try and stagger them, so we're going to have some city council meetings where people can attend at nighttime.
I would love to see that done. Yeah, I would love to see our city council staggered, and it's going to, I'm not sure exactly how to get that. We need to get the other councilors on board with that as well.
Sure.
But I think it should be. I think we should have some evening meetings because, quite frankly, a lot of people out there, a lot of people that are listening to this show are working during the day, and they can't go to a city council meeting even if something important comes up that they need to go to.
Sure.
So
by
staggering them, we fix that problem.
And how about students? Don't we want to get young people involved, like
Absolutely.
that are going to school?
Yeah,
so
college
if you get them
students,
to come in, even high school students.
Yeah,
because now high school students, if they reach age 18, they can vote.
They can vote. That's right.
Now that's going to attract a lot of people because that could be a lot more votes.
That's a lot, yeah.
And how does a student, whether it's high school or college, vote for anybody if they don't know what the issues are and they don't know who the people are?
And it's a big issue. We were talking about door knocking earlier,
Yeah.
and I run across that out there a lot too, is people who are just completely oblivious to what's going on within our own city, and they don't know what the issues are. And then there's other people that are really on top of things,
Yes.
and they watch city council meetings, and they stay informed, and those are the people who are usually the most pissed off with the way things are going, because they are informed and they're watching these meetings and they're going, oh my God, this is a circus, what's going on right now.
They see how frustrating it is.
Right.
And throw in the mix now that we have ranked choice voting in this upcoming mayor's race, and I don't think any of the councilors, there is council. You're involved in one that could be ranked choice voting as well.
Yes, yeah, there's 4 of us, yeah.
So it's like that confuses people in itself. Now, as far as I know, City Council made this arbitrary decision. Once Santa Fe said you could do it, City Council said we're doing it, and I don't remember hearing any questions asking the public, do you want ranked choice voting?
Albuquerque did it before, and then they said never again, and they got rid of it.
And so we took it on.
And then we took it on.
Now that makes a lot of sense.
Ranked choice voting has some plus sides to it. There are some plus sides that go in there, but it's referred to as an instant runoff all the time. And that's where I have a problem with it, because it is not an instant runoff.
It's a confusing statement.
Right. Instant runoff has to, you have to have a tie first to have an instant runoff.
Right.
And I can understand if they use ranked choice voting for that, fill in the blocks. If we have a tie, then we're going to eliminate the lowest one and move everything up.
Right.
Then that would make sense. But when they do a percentage of 50% plus 1, and you have 4 candidates, or 10 for mayor, 4 for my race, and one person gets 49% of the vote, I think that they've won. That's my opinion on it, is that, you got that many people running and one person gets the majority of the votes should win, but it doesn't on ranked choice voting.
No, because a person that started out at 20% of the votes could actually accumulate enough to beat that 49%.
Right.
So the majority of people don't get the say.
Right. It's not the voice of the people anymore. It gets twisted around.
Well, from what I understand, ranked choice voting favors the incumbents. And,
it does, yeah.
And look at who the incumbents are on City Council. I'm not going to say anything more about that, except that
thank you.
Whoever's on there, it's going to favor them. Yeah. So to me, that doesn't seem fair. And why is it that City Council didn't consult the citizens? But first, you'd have to explain it. I would think you'd need a year to explain it.
Right.
And then you'd have to have a year to go out to the people and say, do you want it? And then...
Do you want it, yeah. And it should have been put on a ballot and voted on the old-fashioned way, in my opinion. That's something that
Sure.
should have been voted on by the people and not just
Sure,
done.
I agree. Okay, mental illness, ranked choice voting, campaign financing. These are all things that I hope you are going to address once you get up on
I
that dais.
absolutely will address.
Okay, and I also remember you saying that instead of the people being up on the dais, overlooking, like judges that are looking down on people, you're going to bring it down to the
I would
people's
love
level.
to, and that's something I've got to push in City Council to get this accomplished. But I think we can get it done. I really think we can get it done. Is to get a table down there again. There used to be one down there, and they took it out. Sure. And when you, the public, come in to talk to City Council, have the city councilors, instead of being up on the dais so you feel like you're in court, come down and sit at that table in front of you and have a conversation like we're having a conversation.
Right.
It becomes more of a conversation then, because you're the one, if you're coming to talk to me and I'm the city councilor, you're the one who got me elected. You're the one that I work for.
Yeah.
The citizens are the ones that I work for, and I shouldn't be above the citizens. I should be right here face to face with you, having a conversation. You say, look, here's our problem. And then I should, even if it's necessary to do this, go, well, you know what, I need to look into this problem more. I'm going to drive to that neighborhood. I'm going to walk these streets. I'm going to talk to people in the neighborhood. I'm going to see what's going on in the neighborhood, and then bring that back to City Council, and let's address the problem and get it fixed.
That's the way to do it.
And that's the way it should be done.
I have visions of when I was going to school where I think it was in Rome, where you'd have a senator who was speaking to the large crowd.
Yeah.
He's below in a pit,
Right, down in the
and
pit.
he's speaking to the rest of the crowd.
Yep.
So it's like you are the employee down there speaking to the employers that are up around. So
Right.
yeah, well, it sounds great. Well, Philip, we're winding down to the end of the show. Went really quick, but
Okay.
is there anything
That went
else?
fast.
Yeah, I know. Well, we got a lot of issues to
Yeah.
cover. Well, you'll be back again.
Oh, yeah.
So, is there anything you'd like to say to the folks? If the folks want to get involved and help you with your campaign.
I'd love for him to get involved, but the other thing I think I want to address really quick before we run out of time is, I'm doing 5 hours of this. 5 hours of these interviews and being candid and openly talking with everybody about any issue. And if you've got questions, please submit them either through the Las Cruces channel or to my page, directly to me by email. I would love to tackle the questions that you have and deal with them openly and honestly up front. And take a look at the candidates who are willing to do this, who are willing to jump in the fray and say, let's be honest and open and put ourselves out here in front of everybody and discuss these issues. We may not agree on all issues, but hopefully you can agree that I'm willing to address those issues and tackle them. And that's what I have to say.
And it's going to be recorded, so when you
Yes.
make city council, they're going to come back and say, this is
That's
what you
exactly
said,
right.
Philip.
This is
All
what you
right,
said."
folks, you heard it right here. So
Yeah.
Philip is going to be accountable. All right, well, thank you for tuning in. Philip and I will be back on again. Philip VanVeen, City Council District 2, the Candidates Forum on the Las Cruces channel here. Take care. I'll see you next time.
I am Philip VanVeen, a candidate for Las Cruces City Council District 2, and I approve this message. Diana Rodriguez, Treasurer.